Hello. So today I'm going to tell you the story of what happened to me a week ago. I was riding my bike. I was on a training ride for the Belgian waffle ride. It's 2 weeks out from the race, and I had just left the house. I was coming through Four Corners in Collegedale, coming up to a stop sign, and I was in the bike lane. A truck, a delivery truck, pulled out of the gas station. He was at a complete stop. So I'm riding past, and the delivery truck, a big box truck, hit the gas to pull out into traffic to turn left and took me with him. I was hit on the right side of my body from head to toe. And I remember seeing the grill and the bumper of the truck hitting me in the face and hearing the crunching of my bike and feeling my body and the bike and all the pieces go every which way. And I remember the sheer terror as I was screaming, thinking, he does not see me. He is going to run right over me. And I really thought that was the end of my life. I flew 20 feet into the second lane of traffic, landed on my left side. So now I'm face down in the road and fear that, first of all, I realize he's not going to run over me. He did stop. And I am loss of consciousness for just a few seconds. I wake up on the ground and I hear silence. There's no cars. There's nobody talking, nobody screaming. So I said, with my face down and my eyes still closed, I said, call 911. Immediately after that, the first person to come onto the scene was somebody that knows me. And she is a fellow triathlete. I've known her for a long time, and she said, who can I call for you? She was an angel. I'm still face down, my eyes are still closed. She was able to contact my brother, who contacted my parents, and my husband, who was in Augusta, 4 hours away. When EMS showed up, they were able to stabilize my spine, put me on the backboard in a neck brace, and put me in the ambulance. My known angel number 2 was my paramedic. He's known as Frenchie. His son is dating my daughter. Small world. He stayed with me until I was comfortable in the emergency room, as comfortable as can be, but in the care of nurses and doctors. He also took a picture of my bike, which was in shambles. Took good care of me. So at this point, I'm stable. Blood pressure, pulse, they're all fine. No blood pouring out of anything, so still having trouble opening my eyes. Maybe I'm trying to block out the experience, I don't know. I spent a couple hours, I probably spent 4 or 5 hours in the emergency room. They did a full body scan, CT. I got x-rays of both hips, knees, ankles, elbow, every place that hit the ground or the truck. And nothing was broken. Miraculously, nothing was broken. So eventually they discharged me to my husband, who made it from Augusta, and he took me home. So I'm recovering, as you can imagine somebody who's been hit by a truck on a bicycle would feel. I did take impact to my head from the truck, and then a double impact when my head hit the ground. I was wearing a helmet, thank God. But now I am suffering from a pretty severe concussion. I'm 6 days out, and I've done follow-up doctor's appointment. She's wonderful, and she knew immediately that I needed to be on brain rest. So now I'm officially on brain rest for 6 weeks. What does that mean? That means no driving, no television, no reading, no lights, no screen time, no exercising, no working, no loud noises, no sudden movements. Pretty much I'm supposed to curl up in a cool, dark hole and not move for 6 weeks. Well, that's gonna be really hard for me. That's hard both emotionally, physically, and spiritually for me. Now my body does hurt. I'm gonna have injuries from this. I imagine that manifests later when I start using my body again. I have shoulder pain from where I landed and the truck hit me here, and I have hip pain deep down in there. So even though there's no broken bones, the shoulder is a very complicated joint, as is the hip. And when I do start to get back into mobility, who knows what's really going on in there. If there's a torn ligament, rotator cuff, or labrum, we won't know for probably months out from now. We're gonna do a follow-up with a neurologist in Atlanta where they do some brain rehab. All the buttons, it's not all connecting up there. I look like I'm on drugs. I'm not. I look dazed and confused. And I have about 1 hour's worth of endurance. And what I mean by endurance, I mean anything that's not lying down in a cold, dark room. If I want to get up, move around, eat something, I'm good for about 1 hour. And then it's lights out for me. That's it. I'm very grateful that I survived the accident. I'm grateful that my injuries were not life-threatening. I'm grateful that I still have the ability to use my arms, my legs. I'm so very grateful. And I'm so very grateful to the people who assisted me, the angels that surrounded me. I do have some anxiety about the unknown future. I'm obviously missing work. For me as an athlete, exercising is what keeps me sane. If you're a runner, a cyclist, triathlete, any kind of an athlete, you understand what happens when you can't get that dose of medicine that exercise is. So I'm going to be dealing with that. I'm missing my daughter move into college, into the dorm today. So there's a lot of trauma, emotionally, psychologically, physically, going on here, even though there's no bones protruding out of my body. So that's what happened. So no racing for me this year. No Belgian waffle ride. Probably no sailing any time in the near future. Just healing. So if you have suggestions for me on how to improve my healing, I want to come back stronger, healthier, better than before. and I know that I will. I've been following Dr. Joe Dispenza and his healing techniques, where it's mind over matter. So while I'm in this cool, dark hole for healing, I'm going to be focusing my mind over matter that I'm healing. I just wanted to put down on record, before we got too far into it, what has happened. This is not my first time being struck by a vehicle on my bicycle. This has happened 3 other times in my career as a cyclist. I've been riding bikes for almost 20 years. When I came out of the emergency room from this accident, I pretty much knew it was time to hang up the road bike. I still have my gravel bike, I still have my mountain bike, and now I'm going to continue enjoying cycling, but not on the road. Everybody has to make their own decision, everybody's on their own journey. What I will say is, try to cycle with a friend. And stay alert. And if you're a motorist, if you are a driver, put down the phone. As a cyclist, we have a right to the road. And as a motorist, it's your responsibility to watch out for us, just like you would any other car. So, thank you. I'll keep this updated as my healing progresses.